I was born into a burning house. When my mother turned 23, she had an arranged marriage with my father, a gang lord in Bhilai, India. During the years she was married, she was starved, beaten, and locked in the house for days on end. When she escaped, my father and his soldiers hunted my mother and me, and we were faced with two options: leave or die. My mom, her parents, and I sought refuge in America with $100 and 2 suitcases among the 4 of us. I grew up in Kentucky as a queer, immigrant, Greek Orthodox Christian in a single-parent household, subsisting on free school lunches and welfare. For much of my childhood, I was tormented for my intersecting identities. On this auspicious day, I can't help but wonder how 10-year-old Ebby, who came home from school crying every day because she was bullied so relentlessly, would think of me today. I think he would be proud that we that we grew up to be more than what people told us we could be, achieving more than what people told us we could, and living a life that people told us was impossible. I believe many of us feel the same way, that our childhood selves would be proud of the people that we become: smart, kind, passionate, and of course, debilitatingly good-looking. I would not have been able to accomplish any of this because my family and I received love and support from friends, family, and strangers. My mother wouldn't have been able to escape her marriage if it wasn't for a neighbor who fed her and was able to recover her nursing certificate, for the doctor at the hospital my mom first worked at who co-signed for her first car, for the teachers that believed in me when I didn't even believe in myself. Thank you, Ms. Medley, Ms. Williams, and Mr. Purvis. And for the friends I made along the way that I couldn't imagine my life without. Thank you, Mira, Taylor, Kenzum, Tina, Elizabeth, Matt, my society, Griffin, and countless others I could write entire speeches about. As a society, we have and glorified this notion of being self-made, of achieving success by one's own efforts alone. This very concept is a distortion of reality. The idea of being self-made perpetuates the myth of pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. This is not to say that you didn't work hard. This is not even to say that you don't deserve the success you have or will achieve. This myth and this notion erases the fact that we never go through this life alone and that we do not leave this earth without a few scars. Have the courage and humility to admit that you are not self-made. We are forged in a heart of love by our friends, family, and strangers. It is vital we remember this as we take our first steps out into the world and out of the Yale bubble. How will you pay it forward? We are told from a young age that we can accomplish anything we set our minds to. We look to heroes for the people that we could become: Superman and his strength, Spider-Man and his integrity, Bill Clinton and his luscious locks. We think we can save the world. But the world has changed a lot since we were kids. Today, our globe and our nation are increasingly embroiled in chaos, division, and violence. It's easy to lose hope for a better tomorrow. It's even easier to delude yourself into thinking that nothing you do or ever will do will make a difference in a world so big with even bigger problems. I too have been discouraged. I find comfort in a verse from the Talmud: whoever saves one life saves the world entire. My Amma saved my life. Who will you save to save the world? I look out into this crowd and I have no doubt that I see greatness among you. But being good is harder. It requires sacrifice, putting others before yourself, and an abundance of love. We're inundated around campus with our historic motto, Lux et Veritas, light and truth. It's difficult, though, sometimes to ground these lofty, abstract ideals. How do we apply them to our lives? The truth is your armor, and the light will illuminate the path that you must take. But it is love that gives us the will to persist, to persevere, to prosper. Love is not merely a noun, but it is a powerful action. For 22 years, 2/3 of my mom and I's names belonged to a man that was not a part of our lives. This past summer, we changed our names to honor the love that God showed to a single mom and her child as they sought refuge in America. Together, we are creating a new legacy based on the most important thing: love. The practice of love isn't perfect, though. We will trip, falter, and fail. We must ask for mercy and forgiveness just as often as we give it, and we must practice love every day. Do not start tomorrow, start today, and love every day. I challenge you to perform one random act of kindness each day, whether it's buying a stranger a meal, being a good friend, or even caring to hold the door open for an extra 15 seconds. Love is easy, just as long as we let it be. We must continue to keep the hope for a better tomorrow. But hope without action is aimless. Love is that action. Love sustains hope. Love drowns hate. Love is our greatest act of resistance. It transcends race, class, and creed. I was born into a burning house, but we were born into a burning world. My Amma and I found hope through the power of love, and together, class of 2023, we can too. Refusing to add to the flames is not enough, but it is the courage to build a more loving world that saves us. Who will you love today? Thank you.